Hello fellow Halo gamers. The Halo team recently posted a half-hour development update about the state of Infinite and some rather unfortunate details about what we'll all be receiving at launch. If you've seen my videos in the past, you'll know I don't like to beat around the bush, so let's put the first worst and then go over the other key points featured in the update. The two biggest moments currently for the community are that there will be no co-op campaign at launch and no Forge mode either. Also, somewhat notable in my opinion is that a big team Battleflight is coming, but also still no official release date. Come on, 343. So, since they're on the table, let's talk about it. No co-op. To me, this one sucks. With Halo Infinite attempting to go back to its roots, it's disappointing to hear that I won't be allowed to share those same classic Halo CE and Halo 2 memories with my brother that got us into the franchise to begin with, unless I want to wait for a few months to hopefully have access in Season 2 when it's expected to be introduced. My gut reaction to a lot of the outrage that this announcement gained was that it isn't as important as people are making it out to be. But the more I think about it, the truth is that I've always played classic Halo titles in co-op, switching to solo mainly just for achievements or playlists in MCC. Not to mention that in all the hype for Halo Infinite, I know that myself and a handful of friends have gotten together to play Halo MCC more than ever in the last year, and playing the new campaign has been mentioned excitedly between ourselves more than a few times. Overall, it isn't a huge blow to my personal excitement for Infinite, but it's some unfortunate news anyway, and I can't help but wonder what it might say for the overall completeness and state of the rest of the game. I totally understand that creating co-op is more work than just letting a second player in, although I really don't know how much more, but hopefully all the energy lost on co-op has been focused elsewhere productively, and we eventually forget about its absence altogether thanks to a flawless launch with polish and even matchmaking to go around. Next up, let's talk about Forge mode missing. Personally, I've never really used Forge too much, maybe here or there to build a set for a video I'm making or just to mess around and try out different weapons, but truthfully, after Halo 3 it kind of lost me, and I barely touched the mode in Reach. I do realize that Halo 5 gave it a total overhaul with scripting and terrain editing, so I might be missing out there, but that's neither here nor there. Now, obviously my personal experience is just one side of the story, and I don't want it to seem like I'm downplaying Forge's importance as a tool to the community. We've talked about its value as a creative tool in several of my previous videos, and I love me some Duck Hunt or Fat Kid or Splatter Monkey just as much as anyone else who's been lucky enough to try it out. But I think that most people will be really absorbed in campaign and multiplayer for quite some time before they stretch their legs and try out other features. In fairness, on the other hand, if you're a Forge creator, I feel your pain and I'm sorry for the delay, because I know that your community is extremely passionate and have been hoping for big things to come out of Infinite, and truthfully I'm right there with you. I've arguably had just as much fun playing some of your creations made with limited tools and unlimited creative use of them as I've had playing certain entire levels in Halo campaigns. And with the expected 9-month delay after launch, you're missing out on a lot of time that could be spent creating in preparation for when people are ready to give your builds a chance. With Forge expected to be introduced all the way in Season 3, the wait seems unreasonably long, and hot take here, but I'd almost like to see Forge come in before co-op, because 9 months is a lot of time for Infinite players to get bored with its initial offerings and decide,
I don't want to play with you anymore.
This is not your grave, but you are welcome in it.
Now that we've got the spooky stuff out of the way, let's talk about the fact that Halo Infinite is supposed to come out in holiday 2021, or basically within the next 3 to 4 months, and we still don't have a release date. In the new update, we did get informed that a launch date is coming soon, but what gives? I'm normally an optimistic person, but with the more or less bad news that we've gotten so far, the hesitance to lock down a date makes me skeptical. I've heard Phil Spencer of Xbox say that Halo is holding a launch date announcement to avoid getting caught up with other games, which is understandable, but call me crazy because looking forward to games that I know are coming out, like Battlefield 2042 in October or Call of Duty Vanguard in November, are totally overshadowing Halo because I have a date that I can excitedly look forward to. Maybe for other people, the anticipation is growing the hype, but to me, it's almost at a point where I don't care when Infinite comes out, because we're getting closer than ever to holiday 2021 without a peep from the Halo team, and it gives me cold feet. 343 promised more communication after Infinite's delay, but it's been lacking overall with no real answers to important and basic questions. I'm not going to let this video become too negative, but it's just something that's been on the old Tappy's mind. Moving into a few positives before we wrap this up. Halo Infinite will have both campaign and multiplayer available at launch, so despite needing to play solo, you will still be able to enjoy the story once it's time. And the free multiplayer with some tweaks should be a blast based on the flight we had earlier. If you haven't already, by the way, do remember to sign up for flights, because a big team battle flight is confirmed in the future and it should be a huge blast. In other news, the update also confirmed that some big issues in the PC Master Race edition of the game are being addressed, such as an apparent spare 20% of performance being freed up from the initial flight that did run a bit rough sometimes. Fixes to the matchmaking queue breaking, and finally, potentially most important, problems experienced with 900 series GPUs not supporting Halo Infinite have also been fixed, meaning that accessibility is going to be bumped up quite a bit from where it was with the original flight. Last, the full first year for Halo Infinite is already mapped out, which is good to hear, but also somewhat expected if you ask me. In case you'd like to watch the development update for yourself, by the way, the link, as always, can be found in the description. I've covered the biggest details today for you, but I always like to leave a little bit of extra to encourage you to venture out and get some info from the source. Overall, despite the news this weekend being a bit disappointing, there is a silver lining in the sense that we know a bit more of what to expect, and I appreciate the transparency compared to the ho-hum approach we saw with Halo 5, and I thank 343 for at least showing us the respect of informing its buyers. My name is Ben, aka Taport. Thank you for watching. Please remember to get plenty of sleep, stay hydrated, and eat your veggies. If you like this video, please consider leaving a like and maybe a subscription. I hope to see you next week. Links to all of my social media, including Twitch, where I try to stream every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, can be found down below. If you have any questions or comments about this video or the update video itself, please leave those down in the comments below. I'd be happy to reply and get a little dialogue going. Stay safe, enjoy the rest of your week. Peace.